Hey guys, Sacred G, whatever you want to call me, and today, alright, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, about a month. It's because I don't view YouTube as a job, and, well, once you view it that way, you can upload basically whenever you want. Today, I'm going to be responding to Cole Hastings' Why Men Are Weaker Than Ever, and I'm very surprised that this video has not gotten any form of a response. It may have in some other platform or website, but I haven't seen anything really on YouTube about it, so there are a lot of things in the video that I disagree with, so without further ado, here we go.
I want to start off this video talking about something that I've never opened up about on the internet, and it is my struggle in my early 20s to get hard. And
alright, so apparently this video is starting off with his struggles with him having a hard time getting hard, and that supposedly has an effect on all of us guys, and that we all apparently suffer from this. Yeah, I highly doubt that. I don't understand why you would open up the video like that, but let's continue here.
And basically, I had erectile dysfunction. I was about 20 years old, maybe 19 years old, and the only thing I really cared about during that time was lifting weights, looking super jacked, going out to parties and hooking up with girls, and drinking several times a week. This is what my life really consisted of. I had no goals, and every so often I would get the chance to have sex with a girl who...
You hear that? His life consisted of heavy partying and hooking up with women, and I assume just by the videos that he is showing here, he indulged into some pretty heavy drinking, and that can lead to erectile dysfunction. It's not more of what we're consuming, which he later mentions, but it's more of what we are it is consuming. I mean, you are consuming alcohol, and drugs can also cause that as well, but I don't think it's for the reasons he says. And I really kind of think it's an odd flex of him to say, well, you know, there have been girls that have been wanting to have, you know, I've had opportunities to have sex because girls want to have sex with me. It just seems like an odd flex to me. I also think it's odd that he shows off his body even though he says that, or said that he worked out. It's like, dude, we get it. We don't need to see you shirtless, okay? We don't need the picture evidence. If you are claiming you work out, judging even by what we're seeing, you clearly do. I don't know why you needed to show that, but it just seems kind of narcissistic. At least to me it does. And I don't understand why you would need to show that when you can just say it. And who gives a shit, dude, if girls want to have sex with you? Again, it just seems like an odd flex. You mentioned before that you had ED, you've had sexual partners. Why would you bring up that women want to have sex with you? It just seems like a very odd flex, in my opinion.
Goals. And every so often I would get the chance to have sex with a girl who would want to have sex with me, and I can recall several times with one girl in particular, we tried like maybe 3 or 4 times, and I just could not get hard during it. And this was a pretty common occurrence. I remember it happening one time with another girl that I met up in Canada. And
this whole section just seems like a very useless segue to his points. It's kind of like a really bad onion, and when you peel back the layers, you really start to not want to eat it or put it in your food. That's technically what this is. There's literally no point in him bringing this up. Again, it just seems like a very strange flex, and honestly, if you were focused and you had no goals and you were in college when all this happened, that's your fault. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? Like, I can't tell you that, well, you know, well, life is hard, but at the same time, you chose to party, you chose to drink and get into these, you know, self-deprecating activities, and it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know why you would need to have this included in your video. It does not cater to men. My point is that you are speaking from experience that doesn't cater to everybody. We'll get further on down. Also, flying down and meeting a woman halfway across the country or on the other side of the world, wherever the fuck she is, that will cause more of a chance of you having performance anxiety more than anything. And especially if all the time you spent talking was through texts or even through video chat, because face-to-face is a lot different than any of those things. So yeah, that will lead to performance anxiety. I don't know, like, how you don't seem to see that, but yeah, that's what that can lead to. And the same, again, with drinking. And a little fun fact is, if you're even a little nervous, as mentioned from the first point where he was saying he fiddled around with a girl for a little while and he tried and he just couldn't get anywhere. I don't know what his situation was, and neither do I care. It just seems like it was either alcohol or performance anxiety. A little thing about performance anxiety: if you are anxious already, you will have performance anxiety. Enough said.
I'm with another girl that I met up in Canada, and also my second girlfriend. When we first started seeing each other, like, we were trying to have sex and I just could not get hard at the start. Was this just performance anxiety? Did I actually have erectile dysfunction? I think there are several different...
Also, meeting a woman across the fucking country, or again, wherever she's at, that definitely leads to that, especially, as I said, if you haven't talked to her face to face. And you literally just describe performance anxiety. Oh, well, when me and my girlfriend first started seeing each other, well, I had an issue getting it up. Well, that's what happens, and especially if you just started seeing her. Every dude, well, not every, unless you're a psycho or sociopath, but almost every one of us guys have anxiety when it comes to meeting women, and it seems like you've had that problem too. But I don't understand how you can confuse that with erectile dysfunction. And then make this video on top of it, saying every guy is in the same boat. That is so not true, my guy.
There are several different mindsets that I had during this time, and the things that I was watching and consuming that led me to not be able to get hard with girls. And now this, along with many other problems for men, is causing men to be weaker than ever, less masculine than ever.
So the things that he was watching and consuming led him to not get hard with girls. Well, I don't think watching anything at all has an effect on that. I think that's a you problem more than it is a watching something and then letting that dictate how you feel about girls is more of a you problem. But again, he just segues into this shitty video and then categorizes all men having this issue, which is so far from the truth, my guy.
What happened to masculinity? Are men just evolving, and is this evolution really beneficial to us humans?
I like how he drops the what happened to masculinity, like something strange and phenomenon happened with it, like it doesn't exist anymore. It still exists. I don't know why he would say that, but yes, masculinity is still there, just to let you know, Cole. It's still intact. Yes, there's still toxic masculinity too, which he goes into say next that, you know, we got rid of that. But anyways, about the evolutionary change, that's how life fucking is. I mean, is it beneficial to us? Maybe or maybe not. Only time will tell. But other than that, no, I don't understand why he would think masculinity's changed. I don't think it has. And if toxic masculinity exists, then it's not, you know, up in our face.
In society to eliminate or reduce the toxic masculine traits in society that were once considered socially acceptable, but I think men are drifting farther and farther away from the positive aspects of masculinity too. And this was definitely me during that small period in college. What we're seeing less of is the type of masculinity that leads men to get shit done, be confident and humble, hardworking and assertive with what they want.
Yeah, you know, we took strides to lessen, you know, the toxic masculinity. It still exists, sadly, but it's, you know, again, as I said, not in our face. But about men are drifting away from the positives of masculinity. I don't give a shit about his input. That's from his experience. That really has no merit to me and shouldn't have any merit to you. the viewer. I don't think that's true whatsoever. Most of the people I've worked with are in my age group, and they're hardworking motherfuckers. And I don't understand why you would categorize every single man as moving away from this positivity of, or this positive side of of masculinity. And they're apparently every man is not hardworking and is lazy and enjoys junk food, I guess, according to you. But again, that's not true. I know it's my personal experience, but if you go out there and experience life and have a job, this should be very obvious to you that this is complete bullshit, because there's a lot of people that still have drive that are around my age. I'm 23, and that's what I've experienced. I don't understand this point whatsoever.
Most men I meet and talk to on a daily basis now are more lazy than ever.
Wait, hold up. Did he just say that every single man he talks to is lazier than ever? We're gonna have to listen to that again.
Most men I meet and talk to on a daily basis now are more lazy than ever.
Woo-wee! Wow. Okay, so you're again basing everything off of your experience, and I played that again because he is this supposed life coach, and I don't understand why people would want to listen to somebody who literally categorized an entire gender to be lazy, and apparently it's most people he meets and talks to. I don't know if he, meets people, that are sub to him and that are seeking help. And if that's the case, that this is your fucking leader, or whoever the fuck you want to consider this to be. He's calling you lazy in front of millions of people. This video has millions of views. I don't understand why you do it. And if it's your friends, then I guess you got some lazy friends. Again, it's all on your experience. It's who you hang out with as well. Again, as I stated before, that I've worked with hardworking people, and I'm a hard worker myself. I actually like being physical. But I just don't get how, you get that, based off of my friend group or whatever the fuck it is experience, I'm gonna label every single man in the planet lazy, or at least in the US. At least that's what I'm assuming he's getting at. Ridiculous, man.
Most men I meet and talk to on a daily basis now are more lazy than ever, they're more lost than ever, and they just have no ambition or drive. Why are men less masculine? Why do men make up 79% of all suicides? Why has erectile dysfunction in young men increased dramatically in the past decade? Depression, anxiety, and obesity has skyrocketed in men.
Alright, again, he's calling every single dude lazy. I don't know why. About the point with suicide, I would like to point out that that's an article from 2015. I understand that this video was uploaded or made in 2020. That's a 5-year difference. I don't understand. I don't agree with statistics myself, but if you're going to present them to argue against them or to bolster your point, they kind of need to be up to date and to the year that this video was made, not a 5-year difference. But to answer the question about the ED, well, then all these younger dudes must be partaking in hard drugs. Has that ever come across your mind? And depression is not, and obesity is not just a man problem. It's a people problem. Women are affected by this too. I would say that as Americans, obesity and maybe depression has skyrocketed. I wouldn't say that it specifically affects men. And not only that, homeboy doesn't provide any sources. That's right. I actually tried, when I first saw this video, looking to see if he links the articles of the snippets that he shows. There's nothing of the sort, so I can safely say that maybe you're kind of pulling all this information out of your asshole. It might stink a little, but hey, it makes a video, right?
Depression, anxiety, and obesity has skyrocketed in men. Men have taken a turn for the worse in a lot of ways. So what are the key factors that are causing men to be like this these days? To me, there are really 3 reasons as to why men are physically and emotionally weak as ever. And the first reason that I believe men are weaker than ever is due to diet and exercise.
Alright, so he's gonna bring up 3 reasons, and well, his first point is an open-ended argument or an open-ended point. Diet and exercise, for one, has been a problem since way before my time. Also, women are affected by this too. There are women that don't exercise. There are women that, eat very poorly. But we're just gonna, of course, categorize all men into having this issue. It's only a man issue, of course, after all. It's not like women exist or anything.
All three of these key factors that I'm going to be talking about, they all kind of tie in together, and I'll pull it all together at the end. So yeah, diet and exercise. A lot of men have now completely neglected this because it's possible for us to do this now. From an evolutionary perspective, men were always the hunters. They had to go and seek out their own food. That took a ton of exercise alone.
Yeah, well, no shit. We had none of those things back in the day, and, well, men are physically stronger than women. Is that new news to you? That's why us men had to go out and hunt. That's exactly why. It is, scientifically proven that men are, physically stronger than women. Not saying anything bad, not saying women can't hunt. But yeah, that's why we had to, and we didn't have the shit we do now.
And we also didn't have a bunch of processed garbage back then, stuff that is really easy to get addicted to in food. And so most men now just completely neglect their physical health. They don't care about eating healthy. It's so easy to get addicted to junk foods, and so most men just see other men eating Sour Patch Kids garbage.
So most men are neglecting their health. Really? So the most men you talk to, that's everybody in the globe, or at least in the US, right? And no, I don't look at fucking dudes that are eating Sour Patch Kids or that, unhealthy, terrible devil shit and say, oh my god, I feel I need to eat that. I need to eat that right now. Right now is the time I need to eat that. No one does that. And if, they do, then they're fucking weird. And if anything, I look at that and I'm like, okay, well, that person likes that food. And then I go on about my day. I don't observe everything everybody eats. And not only that, it's their fucking choice what they decide to eat. So I don't understand why you're making this into an argument. You're not in control of other people's diets. If they choose to eat unhealthy, that's the choice they made.
Kids garbage all the time, and it's okay to eat some of those things sometimes, but I think that the diet, the standard American diet at least, has really gone downhill the past decade. And that,
all right, well, that's a no shitter. Yeah, the American diet has been going down in a tank ever since the last few decades, so that I guess somewhat agree with you on. But the thing is that what doesn't help is that you, of course, show half of an article, do not provide a source to it, and then make a really shitty fucking video making people feel like shit for doing things that they have the choice to do. And what do I mean by making people feel like shit? Well, this whole video is titled Why Men Are Weaker Than Ever, and this is one of the reasons is indulging in things that I guess you like.
That is affecting men's testosterone levels. It's affecting men's mental health because what you eat is what you become. And so because we don't have to obviously hunt to get our own food, and a lot of the food we eat now is not even real food, it just makes men comfortable and they can just sit and eat as much as they possibly please, and they let themselves do that.
Again, not all men do that. There's a couple of people I know that eat junk food and that are overweight, but yeah, they tend to get shit done. They like to work. There was a couple people, actually, now to think of, that I know personally that, that are not in the best of shape, but they actually work. And I don't understand this, dude. I don't understand why you would say all these dudes get all complacent and they don't do anything. They just, sit on their ass all day. Like, all men. You got to remember, he's accounting all men. When women get, have this issue as well. It's not a man problem. As I said before, it's a people problem.
Do that. Everything is pre-made. The diet is pre-made. It's just easier to be complacent now. It's more of a challenge to step out of your comfort zone than it used to be. And that is also why people don't want to exercise. And also because it's socially acceptable to not exercise, and it's socially acceptable to...
Here's a little secret, Cole. It's socially acceptable not to exercise in the US because it's a fucking choice. That's why. It's totally fine not to do it. I personally think it is. Now, me, I cannot, gain or want to go overweight. That's just me personally. But when it comes to other people, I have no fucking say in the matter. And again, dude, I know I keep saying this and I'm going to keep saying it. He's categorizing myself and every other man on this planet. I mean, when you say that all men are like this, and the saddest part is that he's basing it off his very minimal experience with the world, which is just fucking sad in my opinion.
I don't know, just sit in your fucking house all day. It's like the normal now. And
I don't understand why you care this much about what other people do. Not only do you fail to realize that women suffer from the same issue, kind of depleting the whole purpose of this video. I mean, he's gonna make other points that a lot of other people besides men suffer from. You'll see later. But I don't understand why you care this much about what people eat, what people do, and you're basing it off the friend group or the people that you talk to.
Now. And the next key reason why I believe men are weaker than ever is because it's just easy, like I said, to be comfortable and complacent, and less men these days try to step outside of their comfort zone because everything is handed to us on a silver platter.
No, everything is not handed to us on a silver platter. I was not handed things on a silver platter, maybe some things, but not everything. See, this whole thing with this current day and age of, kids getting things handed to them is complete bullshit. I guarantee you, there are people out in this world that are my age, 23 or younger, that literally have to learn to obtain those achievements yourself, which is what I had to learn. Like a little personal story, a little quick one here is I never had a cell phone growing up. It wasn't until my late teens until I got my first smartphone. So that is completely ruled out, my guy.
Efficiency related things that are detrimental to your physical and mental health, then you're using efficiency and speed in the wrong way. It's just never been easier to get food, to have access to instant dopamine hits like social media, constantly fighting for your attention, Netflix, all of these things. Again,
Yeah, well, no shit. If you use efficiency in the best way you can, yeah, you'll get shit done. That's a no-brainer, dude. It's nothing new. And also about the society thing, where's the sources for that, dude? Where's all these collective evidences that can help us believe what you're saying? Because, again, you're not providing anything. You showed snippets of articles, not the full article, and you don't even source it. So I think that society point can just be kind of shoved back up your ass. And you can, I guess, with the efficiency shit, yeah, again, no shit. It's nothing new. People know this.
Towards, and these efficiency related things are great, and they lead to us getting more shit done for the people who can use the efficiency related things in the positive ways that positively impact your life. But if you get caught in the efficiency related things that are detrimental to your physical and mental health, then you're using efficiency and speed in the wrong way. It's just never been easier to get food, to have access to instant dopamine hits like social media, constantly fighting for your attention, Netflix, all of these things. Again,
Okay, all these the bad efficiency he's talking about, the toxic efficiency. Yes, it's bad for you, but the reasons he listed are, I would say, subjective. Social media, depending on the person. I don't know how Netflix is a terrible thing. I personally don't like paying for movie services when I could buy it and own it and keep it. I don't understand how Netflix is a toxic efficiency. And the same thing with social media. Again, it depends on the person. If these things are real problems, then they're only problems to selected people. It's not every single man that uses these things that, make you lazy and all this shit. And yeah, food's easy to get. Thank God for that. Why would you complain or use this as a way to kind of bolster this point by saying that, well, food's easier to get? Yeah, well, thank heavens it's easier to get. And about, I know what he means about the food, like, the junk food. It's easier to obtain. There's a lot of unhealthy shit. Guess what? If you are in dire need of food at all without eating anything for, let's say you were lucky and you made it to a week and you're still mobile, like you could still move, you could still you could still, function. And yeah, that's when unhealthy food becomes actually beneficial, and especially if you're starving to fucking death.
In moderation, not bad, but men are completely overstimulating themselves and over-consuming these things, and that takes over their
How are men, all men, I mean, since this is who you're directing this towards, are getting too comfortable with these things? I don't understand that. Again, I think he's really speaking on the experiences that he has with, his friend group, with the people that probably try to get in contact with him. I don't know that for sure, but I would assume so, since he lists himself as a life coach. Again, I don't understand how Netflix and social media and all this affects all of us guys. I think that's very subjective, to be honest. And again, I think he's just pulling this out of his ass.
Doing things that are challenging, because comfortability breeds comfortability. The most rewarding things in life are the things that take a long time to build up and to go through a whole process with them. Those are the things that really feel the most fulfilling. But because everything these days is so quick and so easily accessible, then it's the question for most men of why even do something that's going to take a long time.
Again, not all men do that. I don't know how many times I'm going to keep repeating myself. I don't like doing that. But, I don't know what to say. I mean, he's categorizing myself, and not just me, but other fucking people, other guys, into this one category of being lazy. It's like, I don't understand how you go from, like, young. I don't know how old this dude is. I don't really care. But I want to, like, I just don't understand, because this sounds like old man shit. Like when they bitch about how things have changed, and back in my day, we didn't have this and that. Like, quit your bitching. That's all this seems like, and I've heard this from older people as well. Mainly that's where this seems to come from, and it's not true. Like, yeah, people don't want to do things that take a long time. And again, that's only to some people. I don't understand how you can totally miss that.
And the last reason, the one I think that is the biggest out of all of them, the one that impacted my erectile dysfunction the most, the one that...
So you see how Cole went from he thought he could have had erectile dysfunction to, well, in this point, before he gets into it, he says he had erectile dysfunction. I thought it was a confusion.
Is this just performance anxiety? Did I actually have erectile dysfunction?
It seemed like at the beginning of the video you didn't know if it was performance anxiety or erectile dysfunction, which it wasn't. Let's see what his reason is to what caused his erectile dysfunction.
That is really plaguing men the most and making them the most comfortable is porn and excessive masturbation.
Okay, so there's this really, before I get into my point, there's this really stupid study going on that apparently porn is that bad for you that it makes your brain as bad as a fucking heroin addict, even though heroin is a substance and a chemical and is a legit chemical, and porn releases chemicals, and yes, it does, but that's with anything. Porn is not that big of a deal. I mean, if porn really was, I don't think porn would be existing. And again, not a lot of men excessively masturbate, and the only time I remember ever doing that in my life was when I was in fucking high school. And I just don't understand you'd categorize all these fucking dudes as excessive masturbators and porn watchers. Again, that seems more like a you problem. If you think, Cole, that this caused your ED, then guess what? It's your problem. It's your fault. You chose to get addicted to porn.
These two things literally suck the manlyhood out of you.
How in the fuck does porn and masturbation suck the manlyhood out of you? Why don't we talk about things that actually matter instead of trying to play these guessing games because of the fact that you made a really odd decision of getting addicted to porn? That's, again, this is based on his experiences from what I'm getting from this, and it's your fault, man. And why don't we talk about the real shit that sucks the masculinity and all this manlyhood out of you is drugs. Drugs have always been a problem. Why don't we advocate against the harder drugs that lean to kill people and fuck with your mental health?
During this time, I also quit masturbation completely, and I have videos on semen retention and the effects that had on me.
All right, so semen retention is a load of shit. It's this movement, for those of you that don't know, it's basically nofap. Semen retention is basically that BS nofap bullshit movement. And it's only for people that literally have an issue with, excessive, jerking off, beating lay meat, or watching lay porn. It's basically their issue. It's not an entire man issue. It's just ridiculous. Like, why would you advocate that? And then Cole actually later retracts this entire thing, just destroying any, reason to bring this up, because he has a video where he talks about, oh, nofap isn't good. And it was literally after this video came up, and, well, nothing's changed. And so now I'm pretty much safe to say that this video is entirely bullshit, and whoever's watched it agreed with what he said. Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but this video's horseshit. All you gotta do is pay attention to what he says, experience life a little bit, and you'll see right through this, that this dude just made this video for clicks.
And so I just want to make it abundantly clear to men what porn really does to your brain. Porn is essentially telling your brain that you are getting an unlimited amount of sex. And like I said before, you see all these things are...
You know what's funny too? Working out can also be as bad if this is even a real thing, which I really don't think it is. I don't think porn and masturbation are, like, really bad for you. Like, masturbation's been proven to release stress and do a lot of other good things. And as, everything else, too much of that is a bad thing. The same thing with this working out sort of thing. Some people get crazy addicted to that. And it's the same, receptors and the same dopamines being released when you work out. Same shit applies to basically anything that releases dopamines. Video games, working out, and even food. And not only that, he's again applying this to all guys. And I can attest to this. I'm a dude myself. I don't do half of this shit. Like, I don't even know why he thinks all men do this.
Tying together towards comfortability. Because men think they're getting loads of sex from the chemicals that are being released when they watch porn all the time, they're never going to put in the effort to go seek a mate. And
so excessive masturbation and pornography makes guys complacent, makes them not want to go seek a mate. Very much bullshit. Yeah, there are some guys that do that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure there are. This world's crazy enough. But I don't think every single fucking dude that watches porn is complacent enough to the point where they do not want to seek out a woman. I don't understand that at all. Like, dude, how much experience in life have you had? And it's not even your business what they do anyways.
When I quit porn recently, about, I want to say it was like half a year ago now, maybe more than half a year ago, I can't tell you how much my confidence boosted, how much I wanted to do more work, to do the things that made me stronger that I knew were hard to do and challenging.
Again, that's only if you have that issue. There's a lot of other issues we could be talking about, but apparently Cole's porn addiction is that important to the point where every single man in the US is weak.
Talk about all the spiritual benefits of semen retention and like how holding in your seed, holding in your nutrients, and holding in your life force can do for you.
By the way, there are no spiritual benefits to holding in your seed. If anything, it makes you more horny.
Like I've talked about before, but at the end of the day, if you just excessively masturbate, this is something that is releasing a lot of dopamine and serotonin every time you do it. And when you put porn and masturbation together at the same time, literally nothing is going to give you the same amount of euphoric feeling that you feel when you are doing these things.
Nothing can give you the same amount of euphoric feeling such as porn and masturbation. Yeah, there is. There are things that come off actually not even that different than the dopamines released from watching porn, and then after, the climax. And those are, as I said, video games, working out, basically, can't forget them fucking drugs, and food as well. A lot of those things release dopamine. It's no different than anything else. And yes, of course, if you excessively jerk off, yeah, then you're gonna have issues.
And because of that, you're going to say, why would I do anything outside of this? Why would I do something to step outside of my comfort zone, like actually interact with a woman?
I don't believe that yet again. I think he's speaking on his own experience, and maybe he may be having trouble with women as well. I don't understand you, dude. You're making some pretty shitty points. I mean, basically all three of them could be argued against no matter what. Even if, I know this video ain't perfect, but my point is that these three reasons that he brings up are just not good points to make a video such as why men are weaker than ever and then label every single man with the same issue, which is not true at all. I know he's talking about, you know, men in the US and all that shit, but the same thing applies as I'm saying here. It doesn't affect every single dude, and especially here in the US, it just seems like you're trying to gain the attention of already depressed and down to, you know, beaten out men that are having issues already. Kind of shitty.
I believe that if you did these things in moderation, it would probably be okay, maybe once every couple weeks.
Yeah, no shit. If you moderate, like, one of the biggest things about being a man, besides making decisions for yourself and being responsible, is moderating yourself to not just porn and masturbation, basically to everything. Like, if you drink, you gotta pay attention to how much alcohol you're putting in, because if you drink too much, you could either die or end up in the hospital. And the same thing with, well, sadly with drugs and other shit too. Like, yes, especially with porn. He is not bringing up anything new. This is shit that people should have learned when they were growing up.
It probably would be, but the majority of men don't just watch porn once every couple weeks.
And you know every man on the planet or in the US? You know how much porn they watch? Very weird thing to say, my guy. Like, I don't know why you think that you know how much porn other guys watch. Everybody, even men and women, are all different. That's what makes the world so fun and interesting.
Don't just jack off once every couple weeks. The majority of men are doing this shit pretty much every single day.
No, they're not.
Feel after you've finished doing these activities? Do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel really up and happy and you have a ton of energy after you've just jacked off to porn? No, they make you feel awful about yourself, and then the rest of the day is probably ruined because of that.
How is the rest of your day ruined because you just jerked off? It just seems like very weak-minded thinking, and it's kind of that it's a religious point, you know, like you're brought up, if you were brought up in a religious household, that, you know, jerking off is bad, masturbation's evil, it's the work of the devil, yada, yada, yada. No, dude, that's only if you allow that sort of crap to ruin your entire day. It's very weak-minded thinking. If you literally let something that you chose to do ruin your day, you're an idiot.
Like, imagine if you just took all that energy and that time that you spent looking up the perfect video and then doing the dirty to it on yourself and on developing a new skill or stepping out of your comfort zone or just exercising.
Again, exercising releases the same amount of dopamines, dude. People can get highly addicted to it.
Know the transformative power that doing the right things with these key factors does for yourself. I've experienced it firsthand for myself these past few months, and so I want to teach more men to be a high-value man. What is a high-value man?
So after calling every single man, well, not every single man, weak in the US at least, you called every single man weak, you expect me or others that see through this to listen to your teachings on how to be this mythical high-value man. If no high-value woman exists, then there is no such thing as a fucking high-value man. None of those things exist. Okay, he's just pulling this out of his ass so that way he can make a controversial video, and he can entice, of course, the depressed, the depraved, and all that shit, and so they could click on the video and he gets more view counts for it and probably some money for it as well.
It's like I said, someone who has a lot of drive and ambition, has a goal and a business that they're working towards building in life, is kind, compassionate, and is strong emotionally and physically.
You hear that? If you're kind, compassionate, and of course if you have the unheard of thing called setting goals for yourself, yeah, that makes a high value man, and you have to have a business to work towards too. It's not like you can have anything else, or, advance in your career as a goal, or, edit videos as a goal, or whatever may have you. No, you don't need to be strong physically, but yes, I agree with the mental part, but that's a no-brainer. Almost half of this shit to be a high-value man is a no-brainer. Jesus Christ. All in all, this is a very shitty video. This video only exists to gain the attention of the people that are already in the down and out, that have no good things going for them at the moment, and it's sad, to be honest. And it's kind of funny because he contradicts himself in the video. He said that he thought it was performance anxiety.
Is this just performance anxiety? Did I actually have erectile dysfunction?
He then states he had ED.
The last reason, the one I think that is the biggest out of all of them, the one that impacted my erectile dysfunction.
Which is very funny, and we're supposed to take that seriously. If you can't even fucking make up your mind to what you had, then you didn't have ED. And if anything, he was probably drunk for most of this. For most of these encounters he talked about in the beginning of the video, which I know I'm talking about that, but at the same time, he kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hypocrisy, or, a contradictory, if have you. I'm not saying this dude's like, an evil human being, but I'm saying this video is definitely misleading. If you've seen the other videos that follow after you type this into YouTube's search bar, there's a lot of videos there's one actually with the literal same fucking thumbnail that he used, except for it's a cartoon, a shitty one to be honest, but it's a cartoon. So it goes to show you that this is not true. This definitely isn't true. Anyways, I'm sorry, and I want to thank you guys for watching up all the way to this point. This video is very draining, and just be careful with what you watch on YouTube, and especially now since YouTube retardedly removed the fucking dislike button. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video I decide to make. You guys have a good one.